So what is the criminal justice system? Criminal justice system is a mechanism that society uses to maintain standards of conduct necessary to protect individuals and itself. So basically, justice system is a mixed legal system of civil, common, Islamic, and customary law. But in the Philippines, for poor people, the justice system operates quite differently.
Based on the statements from different documentaries, agreed that poor people were most often represented by the overworked public defenders, in which, due to the slow process of different cases, advised their clients to plead guilty to hasten the process and hopefully get off with a light sentence.
The system of the Philippines, based on my observation, it is only good for the rich people because they can afford for the lawyer, can afford to hire a good lawyer for themselves. But for the people, which means they could not afford, that's why they will be sent to jail immediately without proper due process.
The Philippines criminal justice system is composed of 5 parts or pillars, namely law enforcement, prosecution, court, correction, and community. The criminal justice system essentially is the system or process in the community by which crimes are investigated and the persons suspected thereof are taken in custody, prosecuted in court, and punished. And if found guilty, provision being made for their correction and rehabilitation. The objectives of these videos are: number 1, to control crime, number 2, to rehabilitate, and number 3 is to protect the right of suspect, defendants, and the convicted offenders. So what is crime? The crime is the intentional commission of an act usually defined socially harmful or dangerous and specifically defined prohibited and punishable under criminal law. In this video, we can learn how crime is related to the 5 pillars in the Philippines.
Law enforcement refers to the organization and personnel in charge of upholding the rule of law, preserving public safety, and maintaining public order. The primary duties of law enforcement includes the investigation, apprehension, and detention of individuals suspected of criminal offenses. Along with the legislative and executive branches, law enforcement plays a crucial role in the functioning of government. The role of law enforcement agencies in the society is critical as they are tasked with upholding the rule of law, maintaining public order, and guaranteeing the safetyness of the citizens. The Philippine National Police, or PNP, is a primary law enforcement agency in the country and is essential in upholding the rule of law, protecting public safety, and enforcing laws across the archipelago. Although the pillars are equally important, this pillar is vital to the system because such failure to carry out the function properly may cause the dismissal of a certain case. For instance, if a police officer carried out a search and seizure without a search warrant or an arrest warrant, this action is illegal and could impede the administration of justice, which may be unfair to others. Numerous law enforcement agencies such as police departments and federal law enforcement organizations are in charge of preventing and investigating crimes, catching criminals, and maintaining public order in the Philippines. In addition, they help with the offender's prosecution and initiate the investigative process. They also gather information and evidence that may be utilized in court should the case ever reach that stage. That makes up a significant portion of their role in the criminal justice system. The relationship between law enforcement and the other pillars of government is complex, and checks and balances are in place to prevent abuse of power and protect individuals' rights. Effective cooperation between these pillars is essential for a well-functioning and just society, in which the principles of democracies are upheld and the rights of citizens are respected.
Prosecution refers to applying the law to criminal cases, defending the rights of those involved in criminal proceedings, upholding fundamental rights and human dignity, and maintaining public safety are all obligations placed on prosecutors. The prosecution makes sure that anyone who is suspected of committing a crime is given fair trial and, if found guilty, a sentence. The prosecution and sentencing of offenders deters future offenders from engaging in criminal activity. Prosecution in the context of the criminal justice system is the legal procedure by which the state, usually through the prosecutor or district attorney, files charges against a person or organization that is suspected of committing a crime. It is the prosecution's responsibility to gather evidence, construct a case, and make an argument in court to establish the accused person's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Investigation, charging, trial, and even punishment if the accused is found guilty are some of the steps in this procedure. In order to pursue justice and enforce the law, the prosecution works on behalf of the states or government.
For the continuation of our discussion, I am Michelle P. Regulacion. After the prosecution, we have court from the 5 pillars of criminal justice system. Basically, court conducts trial to determine the guilt of the accused. There's this phrase that says, innocent until proven guilty. It means you have to treat the accused person as innocent just like any other while the trial is still ongoing. We have to follow the due process, which cover per treatment, protection of their legal rights, and per trial. The court are in charge of deciding an accused person guilt or innocent and making sure suspected offenders are given per trial. The court pillars seek to resolve dispute without sacrificing the quality of justice, as well as in compliance without the rule of law. If found guilty, the offender may face penalty such as imprisonment, which are administered by the correction system. The overall goal is to maintain the public order, provide justice, and protect citizens through a structured process. Court determine the guilt or innocence of individual accused of committing crimes. This involves examining evidences, hearing arguments from the prosecution and defense, and reaching a legal decision. Before the court finally releases a decision, it takes a long process because it should be following the legal term or the law. What are the roles of the different people in a courtroom? This is what a typical courtroom looks like. Both criminal and civil cases are heard here every day. Most people know the judge presidal for the courtroom and make the decisions. But there are others who will play a role in court hearing, such as court who assess the judge. In a criminal trial, the accused will be present together with his or her defense lawyer who will defend him. The accused will be the guarded. The prosecutor will present the case against the accused. The witness, including the victim, will be the questioned by both defense, the prosecution, reporters, and members of the public may be present viewing in court. In a simple case, the complainant and defendant will be present along with their lawyer and witness.
I'm Reyes Salonga, BS Criminology 1 Alpha. Topic is correction. Ang key purpose of correction in the critical justice system is to rehabilitate offender. Rehabilitation program into transform critical into law-abiding citizen by addressing the underlying issues that led them to commit crimes. This can include substance abuse, mental health problem, lack of education or job skill by addressing these issues. Correction facilities hope to reduce the likelihood on the offender repeating their criminal behavior after release. Example of rehabilitative programs include therapy, counseling, education program, and vocational training. Another important role of the correctional system is deterrence. Deterrence is idea of discouraging people from committing crimes out of fear punishment. There are two types of deterrence: specific and general. Specific deterrence aims to prevent an individual offender from committing future crime. Public protection, the correction system also aim to protect the public. Creation keep dangerous offender of the street and three ensure public safety. For particularly dangerous or violence, critical long-term imprisonment or even life sentence may be used to keep the public safe. And retribution, lastly, the criminal justice system employs correction as form. Retribution is the response to criminal behavior that is proportionate to severity of the crime. This principle often summarized an eye to an eye supports the idea the criminal should be punished as a matter of justice. It about holding offender accountable for their action and ensuring they pay their debt to society. In conclusion, the purpose of correction in the criminal justice system is motivated in seek to rehabilitate offender, better protectional criminal, protect the public, and provide just retribution for crimes committed.
To continue the discussion, let's proceed to the last pillar, which is the community. Following their completion of the correctional component, convicted felons either return to society and lead law-abiding normal lives, or regrettably commit new crimes and re-enter the criminal justice system. The community pillar plays a vital role in fostering the successful reintegration of individuals after they have served their sentences. This pillar emphasizes the significance of community support, understanding, and active involvement in facilitating the rehabilitation of ex-convicts. A supportive community offers opportunities for employment, housing, and mentorship, creating a conducive environment for individuals to rebuild their lives. Moreover, community engagement helps reduce the stigma associated with the criminal past, promoting social inclusion and fostering a sense of belonging. By actively participating in restorative justice initiatives, education programs, and collaborative policing efforts, the community pillar will significantly contribute in breaking down the cycle of recidivism, enhancing public safety, and building a more compassionate and rehabilitative criminal justice system. And that makes up the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system. And together, the 5 pillars ensure the stability and general well-being of society by providing a strong foundation for country's democratic ideals, accountability, and pursuit of justice. The criminal justice system, also known as CJS, is an ongoing endeavor. Criminal activities will persist as long as there are individuals who continue to commit crimes. And that concludes our discussion regarding the criminal justice system.